Truly, one of my favorite things about getting to host these videos is getting to showcase some of the incredibly talented and creative individuals that live and work here in Birmingham that really don't fit any other Alabama stereotypes. You may not think like, oh, that definitely is happening in Alabama. Devore Vintage is definitely one of those, and I am really excited to learn more and take you all on that journey today. Hannah Conzelman Joseph runs Devore Vintage, which is an antique clothing studio right here in Pepper Place. I'm really excited to get to know her more and show you guys inside her studio, so let's go get to know Hannah. Hannah, tell me about when your love for antiquing started.
So my love for antiquing and antique clothing started because I grew up in a place called Mountain Brook, and I think history there and old buildings, clothing, everything is really well preserved. My grandmother had a beautiful home on Cherokee Road, had a wonderful wardrobe of vintage from as long as I can remember, and I loved playing dress up. My mother also did some modeling in the 1990s and wore beautiful 90s designers like Calvin Klein and Alberto Ferretti.
What are you looking for when you're looking for specific pieces?
If I'm not passionate about it and if I wouldn't put it on my body, then I won't sell it.
Is there a specific era or time frame that you source within?
So I specialize in 1920s and 1930s from the US and Europe.
What is a common misconception that you hear about Alabama?
So, I lived overseas for almost 9 years. So I got a lot of misconceptions. It's like, we all live on a farm. When you come to a city like Birmingham that's so rich in the food scene and fashion and art and small business.
People kind of think Alabama is more rural, and we definitely have those spaces, but it's not all that there is here. How does living here now continue to inspire your creativity?
So I always draw inspiration from a sense of place. I have always been inspired by the South. It inspires me, especially because I source a lot of things local to here. So it inspires me because there's nothing like it. So special and so individual in the attributes of Southern vintage clothing.
It's really neat because I feel like maybe unless you're just kind of in the world of antiquing or vintage clothing, I would never know that there's such unique attributes to the clothing that's sourced here in the South. When did you start Devore Vintage?
Started Devore in 2015, in January of 2015, and I was a longtime client of a wonderful woman named Diane who had a shop called Clara Fox with the most beautiful antique dresses I've ever seen, and I started working for her. She taught me everything there is to know about fabrics and sewing and patterns and just everything when it comes to identifying pieces of different eras. And she really, really helped me start this business.
That's amazing. Talked about some of the women that have inspired you. I want to hear from you how clothing in general, how have you seen that impact and uplift women?
So I'm very, very inclusive when it comes to sizing. I think that in itself uplifts my client. A lot of people have a misconception that vintage is tiny, and that is not the case.
What about the preservation and care of these pieces?
I purchased them in all sorts of conditions, but probably 80% of these pieces I would not recommend to be dry cleaned. So I hand wash them in baby detergent and lay them out in the sun because there's absolutely nothing like drying a piece of clothing in the sun.
You have a very specific eye when it comes to photographing your pieces as well. I feel like it's like looking at almost an art display. How do you think about the photography? Like, what's your thought process there?
So my photographer who I've been working with the longest, named Ashley Kicklighter, she is amazing. Actually thinking about putting out a book of our photographs.
You should.
Yeah. We really try to tell a story with our photos. I'm very much less is more, and so is she. So we do a lot of bare feet, a lot of no makeup, because I think that is so beautiful and chic. I really also try to bring these pieces to present day. I try to draw anyone who's looking at them into, this ethereal world. I get a lot of stuff from Paris. I absolutely love the antiques that are made in France. I geek out, especially with 20s and 30s lingerie. This is early 1900s. This is couture. This was made in Paris. This is stunning. It has what's called a cold shoulder. This is 30s from Paris. It is in actual perfect condition. It's silk chiffon, textured with the blue embroidery. and a silk velvet ribbon.
I feel like we need an outfit of the day. Will you please tell us what you're wearing?
Yes. So I'm wearing Gucci shoes.
Love.
Vintage 1990s Chanel Diana bag. This is a pre-sale, which priests used to wear. From the early 1900s, made in New York. Still has a tag in it from who sewed it. Yes.
Wow.
These pants are from a small company in Australia. And my jewels, my earrings are jade trowel.
When you think about the journey that you've had with Devore Vintage, building this company, what is a moment or something about it that just makes you really proud?
So I have 2 children, and they know that mommy sells dresses and that daddy is a chef. So we are a very artistic household, and I think what makes me really proud is that I will be able to pass down a lot of beautiful future heirlooms to my kids. Along with that, the knowledge and appreciation for old things.
When people come to Devore, whether they're looking online, international customers, or they're here in the studio, what are they usually looking for?
I get a lot of questions about my demographic. Now, I don't really have a demographic. I have clients who are 17 and clients who are 70, but I think they all come to me for that certain ethereal silk, sheer, blue, big sleeves. I love big sleeves, lace, to really rediscover their femininity.
But what is your hope specifically for the local Birmingham market?
So even I think if local people in Birmingham don't shop with me, I would hope that they lean into more sustainable ways of shopping. There is enough clothing on the planet to last us literally forever. So I would say just shop small, shop sustainable, and shop secondhand if you can.
Tips or advice to someone who's just getting into shopping secondhand or trying to shop more sustainably?
I love eBay. We have some amazing, very, very underpicked thrift stores in Alabama.
If Devore Vintage as a brand, the clothing pieces that you have, the style, the world that you create could kind of talk, what would it say? What would the message be to the world?
And I think the message would be, if you take care of me as a custodian, I will last forever and give back to you and give you many, many lives. A lot of these pieces are really neglected, and I really try to bring them back to life.
Hannah, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for talking with me. I feel like I have learned so much. I know probably all of our followers have too. I just really appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate that you and your husband both are bringing your talent and creativity here to Birmingham in the state of Alabama. I think it really inspires a lot of people to continue doing that here as well. So yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, you got to stay true to yourself. So thanks.